Alright, so chapter 4 is entitled Adoption and Power. Twilight is going to be a mommy. She doesn't even have to get raped for it. It's great, really, when you think about it. It was another early morning for Starbloom, though not because of a bad dream this time. She just woke up early and couldn't get back to sleep, so she went through her morning routine of shower, hair brushing, and teeth cleaning before going downstairs checking the time. Still got about an hour before school starts, and you're going to be late again, aren't you, you little rule breaker? Rebel! She said to herself, smiling to herself, heading to the kitchen to get herself some breakfast. Twilight comes down 20 minutes later after having found Starbloom's bed empty. Starbloom? Everything okay? She asked, looking around the main room of the library before going to the kitchen. Yeah, I'm alright, Twilight. I just woke up early is all, she told Twilight, who got herself a cup of tea and joined her at the table. No bad dreams or anything. That's good. I was a little worried about that, Twilight said, sipping her tea. Don't forget, I'll come pick you up after school today so we can go to City Hall. 'Cause that's what mommies do. Starbloom smiles at Twilight. I won't forget. Also, let Miss Cheerily know you'll be coming to Family Appreciation Day, Starbloom said, getting from the table, clearing her dishes from breakfast away and checking the time. I better get going, though. I don't want to be late again. Have a good day, Twilight. All right, Starbloom. I'll see you after school. Have a good day. She follows her to the door and helps her with her saddlebags, 'cause that's what mommies do. Just as Starbloom answered the door, Skulu was standing at the door, hoof coming down and bonking Starbloom on the forehead as she was just about to knock, a cute look of surprise on her face. Oh, hi, Starbloom. Hi, Twilight. The little Pegasus smiled, doing her best to hold back a chuckle. Because that's what friends do. Sorry about that, Starbloom. Twilight couldn't help but smile at the sight. Because that's what people who smile do. Is that kind of annoying? I don't think it is, but to the listener, if it is, well, you can't tell me till it's over, so I guess I'll just keep doing it. Good morning, Scootaloo. Come to walk Starbloom to school? Scootaloo nodded to Twilight. Well, I'm her mommy, so I'm gonna walk her to school, so go away, fried chicken. Starbloom blinks lightly, moving Scootaloo's hoof off her head, but smiles as well. Morning, Scootaloo. After Scootaloo regained her composure and moved out of the library, smiling, Scootaloo turning to walk with her. What the hell does that sentence just say? Twilight closes the door to the library and smiles before going to finish her breakfast before getting her day started. She had a lot to do today, and she wanted to get most of it done before going to pick up Starbloom after school. She also needed to figure out what she would say at Starbloom's school that wouldn't bore the fillies. She had to remind herself not everyone enjoyed books and studying as much as she did. Got anything planned for today, Starbloom? Scootaloo asked as the two fillies walked to the schoolhouse together. Actually, yeah, but I think I want to wait to tell you what it is still lunchtime, so I can tell Sweetie Belle and Applebloom as well. Ah, man, I'm having such a defiantly good day. Yeah, fight the power, you know. Starbloom said, smiling Scootaloo real big, like. Scootaloo looks over at Starbloom and tilts her head, noticing the smile. Really? Must be pretty good news with a smile that big. Does that have to do with Family Appreciation Day? Yeah, I got a family, Scootaloo asked her friend. Yeah, it does. But it's not about that. Twilight did say she'll come, Starbloom said to Scootaloo, still smiling happily. Really? That's great, Starbloom. Now I gotta fall asleep. Both turned, looking as Sweetie Belle caught up with them. Sweetie Belle smiling. Applebloom was walking with Sweetie Belle. She also looked happy with the news. Rarity's gonna come speak on my day. Applejack said she'll come to speak for also. Speak for also! Also, that's Applebloom's, family relative. Didn't want to say sister. Great aunt's second cousin. Thrice removed. Not twice, thrice removed. Applebloom said, smiling, before looking over to Scootaloo. What about you, Scoots? Oh, God. This is, Scootaloo was quiet for a few minutes, and Starbloom had an uneasy feeling. Uneasy filling! There's no cream in this donut! Scootaloo finally spoke up, though. I asked, but my family said they was busy. They was busy, yeah. Applebloom and Sweetie Belle both seemed to buy that answer, but Starbloom was convinced the look in Scootaloo's eyes told her there was more to the story than that. She let it be for now, though. She'd do some investigating later. They reached the school shortly after and went inside. Sweetie Belle, Applebloom, and Scootaloo told cheerily who they was. And Scootaloo's... Miss Cheerily's like, who are you? I forgot. And Skulu's case wasn't bringing. What about you, Starbloom? Did Twilight say if she was coming? Cheerily asked, smiling down at her. Yes, Miss Cheerily. Twilight said she'll come. Just have to let her know which day you would want her to come. She'll be stopping by after school, Starbloom told her teacher, smiling. That's great, Starbloom. Thank you, Cheerily said with her cheerful smile. Starbloom smiled and went to take her seat, the rest of the students coming up cheerily letting them know who would be coming. Cheerily also used this time to take attendance, so once everyone was seated, she started class. The school day passed quietly, and soon it was lunchtime. Starbloom, Applebloom, Skulu, and Sweetie Belle headed outside at the table they normally had lunch at. It was a routine Starbloom was getting comfortable in. At first she felt nervous about going back to school and making friends with school-age ponies. Now she's feeling relaxed and enjoying herself with her new friends. She's even enjoying school. Oh my god. So what did you want to tell us, Starbloom? Skulu asked, bringing Starbloom out of her thoughts. You said you had plans today, but wanted to wait now to tell us. Starbloom looks over at Skulu and smiles before looking at the others. I wanted to tell you all that last night after getting home from the party, that Twilight asked me if I wanted to become adopted. Which is why she's coming to school. She's going to take me to City Hall and make it official. Both Applebloom and Sweetie Belle squeal happily and start to congratulate her. That's great, Starbloom. I'm so happy for you, Starbloom, Sweetie Belle says with a big grin on her face. Yeah, that's great, Starbloom. Congratulations, Applebloom said quickly after Sweetie Belle finished talking, smiling at her. Neither Applebloom nor Sweetie Belle caught the slightly sad look in Skulu's eyes. She was trying to hide it with a happy smile. Congratulations, Starbloom. I'm sure Twilight will make a great mom. Did nothing. Well, I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna bring this up again. Starbloom smiled back at her friends, though the sad look in Skulu's eyes had concerned her. Thank you, everyone. I never expected her to make the offer when I came home from Counterlot. She was also glad none of them asked about her real parents, but she figured those questions would come later. Of course, this means I'll have to throw another party, Stalker Pinkie Pie suddenly said, causing the four to jump almost out of their seats at the table. Gah! Pinkie, don't do that, Starbloom said, panting, trying to calm herself down. The other three doing the same. Starbloom looks over at Pinkie. Where did you come from? The ceiling. I was coming out of the school after delivering an apple muffin to Cheerily when I overheard what you four had been talking about, Pinkie said, smiling at them bouncing in place. The other four just blinked at each other before looking back at Pinkie. That sounds great, Pinkie, but I think me and Twilight want to keep this quiet for now, at least until everything is official. Your promise to keep it quiet? Don't do this. Pinkie stops bouncing in place and nods. Oh, of course, Starbloom, I promise. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Ow, that icing hurts. After everything is official, it's party time, Pinkie said, grinning before bouncing all back to her sugar cube corner. 7 minutes. 8 minutes. Whatever. Are you sure you can trust her to keep it a secret, Starbloom? Skulu asked. Both Applebloom and Sweet Starbloom nodded at Skulu at the same time. You should know the value Pinkie puts on a Pinkie Pie promise. Applejack found it out the hard way. Yes, you killed her, Applebloom said, first nodding at her. Also, Twilight told me Pinkie is very big on keeping secrets. She clears her throat. Losing trust is the quickest way to lose a friend. Forever, Starbloom said in her best Pinkie Pie voice, following up in her normal voice. That's what she told Twilight. I remember that. Rarity told me about that when Fluttershy was a model and Rarity got jealous about it. Sweetie Belle smiled, nodding, then looks over at Starbloom. Twilight told you about that? Well, she is my mom. She can tell me anything she wants. Starbloom nods and did her best to keep calm. Yeah, she told me about it as we got to know each other. It's more from her perspective, though, of struggling to keep 3 secrets, though. Sorry about that. It's more from her perspective, though, struggling to keep 3 secrets, though. She smiled at the other 3, nodding at her. Then the lunch bell range. The lunch bell range is pretty far. Can I mention I'm having a defiantly good day? She was glad the focus shifted from her. They got up and cleared the table, heading back into school to sit back down at their desk for the rest of the day's lessons. She was glad her friends didn't ask too many questions when she slipped up. The rest of the school day went just as quietly as the morning did. As Cheerily finished her lesson, Twilight came into the school room, smiling and waiting. That's all for today, class. I'll see you bright and early in 2 days. Enjoy your weekend, Cheerily smiled, and the rest of the class started to gather up their belongings before leaving, except Silver Spoon because she's dead, so she didn't get to come to school. Starbloom cleared her desk and got her saddlebags on before going to say goodbye to Applebloom, Skulu, and Sweetie Belle. See you later, Starbloom said, smiling at her friends. Maybe we can meet up later or tomorrow. We'll see you. We'll see you later, Starbloom. If you can come by Sweet Apple Acres later today or tomorrow, we normally hang out at the clubhouse, Applebloom said, smiling, the other two nodding in smiles before following Applebloom out of the school. Oh, excuse me, God. After her friends left, Starbloom headed over to join Twilight and Cheerily, who had been talking over when the best day for Twilight to go Family Appreciation Day would be. The first day back from the break sounds good, Cheerily. Cheerily nods and smiles at Twilight. All right, I'll out you day for the first day of the week. She smiles and looks at Starbloom, smiling at her. Congratulations on your adoption, Starbloom. Twilight will be a wonderful mom. How do you know? Have a good evening, you two. Starbloom just blushed faintly and smiles. Thank you, Miss Cheerily. I know she will. See you after the break. Twilight smiles at Cheerily. Thank you, Cheerily. Have a good evening. Twilight and Starbloom leave the school building and start on the walk over to City Hall. How was school today, Starbloom? Twilight asked as they walked. Anything interesting happen? Pinky showed up. She wants to throw me an adoption party. I told her we wanted to keep it a secret till it was official, though. She promised to keep it a secret, Starbloom said, smiling. Ah, I see. That's good thinking. Did you tell your friends? Twilight smiles, looking over at Starbloom. Yeah, that's how Pinky found out. She overheard me telling them. Speaking of, what do you know about Skulu's home situation? Starbloom said. Starbloom asked, looking back up at Twilight. I must be drunk. Twilight paused, blinking at the questions before moving to walk with Starbloom again. I honestly don't know that much about it. Why do you ask? You think there might be a problem? Twilight asked, her voice laced with concern. Well, it's more of a gut feeling. She doesn't invite family to Appreciation Day. When I told them about my adoption, even though she was smiling, I could see sadness in her eyes. I know you're going to say I should ask her about it, but I don't want to pry or jeopardize our friendship, Starbloom said, sighing softly, looking at Twilight, who just gave a small nod. It was what she had been about to say, but she knew Starbloom was also right in her concern. She had to remind herself Starbloom was a filly, and so were her friends. I can do some checking around for you, Starbloom, without raising any unwanted attention if I can. I know she and Rainbow Dash are close. I'll start there. Twilight said, smiling at her. Thank you, Twilight, Starbloom said, smiling back. They continued to City Hall to talk to Mayor about adoption, filling out the paperwork. Starbloom lied about her parents dying in an accident and loosing her papers, so she got new ones. She hated to lie, but it was the only way to get everything done properly. Once the paperwork had been filled out, and finished, Starbloom and Twilight headed home to the library. The paperwork took longer than expected, so by the time it was done, it had started to get dark out. After reaching the library, Twilight got a frame and put the adoption certificate in it and found a place to hang it up on the wall. Starbloom put away her saddlebags and smiles, looking at the certificate on the wall. She thought for a few minutes, then looked up at Twilight with a silly grin on her face. Do I have to call you Mom now? Starbloom said, wiggling her ears. No, you can call me Daddy. Big Daddy Twilight, purple and in charge. What a moron. Twilight blinked at Starbloom, then thought about it before smiling. Only if you want to, Starbloom, Twilight answered, nodding to her, moving to the kitchen to make a quick dinner for the two of them. Starbloom had followed her into the kitchen as well and sat at the table. Remember when you said to come to you if something odd happened? Starbloom said while watching Twilight cut up some carrot in a julienne cut. Twilight paused her preparations and nods for looking over at Starbloom. Yes, I remember. Has something happened? She asked, a little uneasy with what the answer might be. Starbloom noticed the look, but gives her a slow nod. I saw Diamond Tiara's name. Yeah, it happens twice with Diamond Tiara. Whenever she starts to tease me or my friends, She stopped trying to think of the right word for continuing. I just kind of stare at her, and she gets really uneasy and nervous, almost timid, and leaves. It's not the familiar feeling of a magic surge, but I feel something happen. Twilight listens quietly as she finishes making dinner and serves a plate to Starbloom before joining her at the table. How do you mean, stare at her? Twilight asked her softly. Could you demonstrate the stare? I would, but it would blow your head off. Starbloom thought about it. I can try to. I never tried to make it happen, Starbloom said before taking a deep breath and focused on a wall in front of her. There was a small ripple of energy in the air on the wall Starbloom was looking at, and for a moment the wall seemed to look scored and burnt, as if it had been in a blast. Then it faded away as Starbloom snapped out of it. Twilight just stared at the spot in the wall for a few minutes before looking over at Starbloom. Was that your world? Place you're from?" she asked, watching the small filly quietly. Starbloom's eyes wide at what she had seen. She looked at Twilight and nodded at her. "I think it was Twilight. The library in my world was devastated from the explosion in the lab. But how is it possible I made part of it visible here?" Starbloom couldn't make sense of what had happened, what she had seen and done, her mind going a mile a minute as she thought about before something clicked in her mind, looking at Twilight. "Does that mean when I did that to Diamond Tiara, she saw my world? No, that can't be right, because to her it would look normal. Unless—" She rubbed her head with her hooves, frustrated. Twilight shakes her head a bit and smiles. "Just relax, Starbloom. We will figure this out together. Don't stress yourself out about it, okay?" Starbloom nods and smiles back, but still frustrated. But Twilight was right. They would figure out together, as daughter and father. Both ate quietly and relaxed, Starbloom putting the questions she had bet into the back of her mind for now. As she ate, Starbloom's head started to drop forward a little as she got drowsy. Starbloom didn't know it, but she still retained some level of magic to her. Without her horn, she couldn't focus it, so using it made her sleepy. "I think I'll go to bed now, Twilight," Starbloom said, looking over at Twilight, picking up her plate and placing it on the counter. "Good night, Mom." Wow, that's sad. Twilight nodded to Starbloom and smiled softly at being called Mom. "All right, Starbloom. Sleep well, son." She never imagined how nice it would feel to be called that. As Starbloom went upstairs to bed, Twilight cleared her own plate away as well and cleaned up the leftovers for later. She headed into the library and started to search for books and reference guides about multiverse theories, as well as anything she could find on what effect it would have both the worlds and anyone that might travel across those worlds. She settled in for a long night of research. Now for an author's note. Once again, I don't know why. And it's blank. There is no author's note. So, that's it. Just chapter 4. Chapter 5 is over 6,000 chapters, and if you want me to read that, we're going to have to pay extra. In other words, it's not going to happen. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching and listening, and I guess we'll see you tomorrow. I'm not going to read chapter 5. I got other fan fictions to read. So, as interesting as this is, Lisa, Silver Spoon's not dead yet, and Diamond Tiara apparently can see into the other dimensions and timelines, and it's really starting to scare me, and I really feel like this is The Exorcist on crack. But that's just me. I'm not going to rant again, unless like a giant plum just drops into my ceiling and hits me in the head. Then I'll rant about how stupid plums are. It should be apropos, because I used to like plums. I still do, unless that happens. I just realized Twilight is purple, and plums are purple. What if Twilight is nothing but a plum with muzzles and hooves and a mane and a horn? A mutated plum freak! Okay, somebody get to typing. That's a fan fiction idea for you. It could be a troll fic, but you can make it serious, because it should be serious. Plum? A plum pony? A plumney? Or a ponelum? Not like plumney. I like plumney better. There you go, I gave you ideas. I'm going to leave you guys to type that, okay? Bye. Fucking Plumley. I really am drunk.